Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Jenna and you are watching Thrive with Jenna, and this is a new channel that I started to sort of sit down and talk about important topics that not many people talk about but that are equally important. And on this video we are going to talk about a topic that is a little bit controversial and a little bit weird, however you want to see it, and it's because it exists. It's really there. I've been through it. I know a lot of people have been through it, but not everyone talks about it because either it makes them uncomfortable or they just don't see it yet. They don't see what's going on yet and they're confused, or they think they know but they don't, all these things. And today we are going to talk about it, and I am going to give you 5 life-changing tips on how to overcome this and how to not let it get to you or bother you. So stick around and listen. So this topic we're going to talk about today is called feeling loneliness within a relationship. Because even if you're with someone, you could still feel lonely, and it does happen. Like I said, I've been through it from personal experience, and I know a lot of people too that have been through it, but they don't talk about it as much. Today we will talk about it, and I'm going to get, like I said, I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to hopefully help you. Number 1 is the power of intentional presence. Now, what does this mean? You might be confused. Intentional presence means that you are there physically, but not mentally. And in a relationship, whether you're a man or a woman, that person needs you to be there when they're talking to you about something without any distractions. I've been in a situation where I'm just talking and talking and talking, and he is just on his phone, nodding his head, not listening to anything I'm saying. And then he puts down his phone. He was like, what's that? And that's when you kind of start feeling that way. That's when you kind of start feeling the word that we don't want to use, which is loneliness. But let's be real here. That's kind of the beginning, when you're trying to talk to someone and their attention and focus is on something else. That could potentially trigger feelings of loneliness.
With intentional presence, you show your partner that they matter, and that can bridge the gap of loneliness. Try setting aside 10 minutes each day for distraction-free time together.
Number 2, and I call this the magic of micro connections. Now, what is this? So micro connection is very small to some people, and it might seem like nothing. But in a relationship, if it's starting out, it will work. But also if the relationship has gone on for a significant amount of time and it's not relatively new, this might work too. And this is a smile. It could be a smile, a touch, a kind word or a gesture to your partner. You might say, oh, that shirt looks really nice on you today. It brings out the color in your eyes. Or out of nowhere, just send a text saying, hi, how is your day going? I hope everything is going great. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. Whatever the situation is, even if you're married, even if you're in a married relationship, you still could do that. You could still text him and say, or her, and say, I miss you. I can't wait for you to come home. I've made you dinner, or we could go out to dinner, or we could watch a movie. Something like that builds trust, and it builds a strong bond, whether you see it or not. Later on, if things go south and if things start getting a little bit wrong or bad or whatever, that person could go back and see, wow, this person genuinely cared about me because they've always been nice and they've always said nice things to me, and it can make that person really feel special and cared about.
Micro connections remind your partner that they're loved and seen, turning ordinary moments into opportunities for connection.
Number 3 is the gift of being vulnerable. This is a tricky one, and it's not easy, trust me, because it depends on the person that you're with and how they take it and how they see it. So I could say to someone, you made me cry, or you really upset me today because of this and this and this. And that person could either choose to listen to you, or they can say, well, you just took it that way. It's not my fault you took it that way. I've been there. I've been in that situation. Everything I'm talking about here happened to me, so I know what I'm talking about, in case anybody says, well, that doesn't work. It happened to me. I've been through it, so I feel capable to discuss it because I've been through it. Now, to get to the point, like I said, it just depends on how the person takes it. You could try to be vulnerable. You could try to say, you know, you upset me today, but the way you say it also has a big impact on how that person is going to react. So please take your time to think about how you want to approach the situation. Now, I'm going to give you an example. If someone comes to you and says, I saw your boyfriend or your husband talking to someone else and they seemed very close, how would you respond to that? You could either respond by saying, I trust my partner. I know that the conversation might have been very innocent, even though it might not seem that way to somebody else. Or you could say, hey, this person said this and that and that. What, are you cheating on me, or this, or you know, you're lying to me, you know? So how do you think the other person is going to react? Really sit down and think, if that were me, how would I react? So you're very free and welcome to be vulnerable with your partner, but you also have to remember how to really think and sit down and think about how you're going to show your vulnerability, if that makes sense.
When you're vulnerable, you invite your partner into your inner world, making the relationship more authentic and less lonely.
Number 4, have you ever heard of appreciative inquiry? Now you might be asking yourself, what is this? Okay, so instead of asking your partner, what is wrong? Why don't you try and sit down and ask, how can we fix this? How can we work together? Because I believe that both of us are at fault. Even if you don't think you are, or even if he doesn't think he is, someone is at fault for problems or arguments. It could even be a factor, okay? It doesn't have to be the person itself. It could be finances. You know, you guys don't have money for a date, or you don't have money to go on a nice vacation when all your other friends are going on a nice vacation and you have to stay behind because you can't afford it. How to combat this is very important. Instead of blaming the person, oh, you can never afford anything. Oh, you never take me here, you never take me there, you never do anything for me, you never do anything special. Instead of that, why don't we sit down together and think of ways we can come up with to fix the problem. Now, the scenario is you cannot afford a vacation. So how could we work together to go on a nice vacation with just the two of us? Or if we want to bring friends along, you know, where we could all have some fun and stuff. Instead of putting the blame on someone else, try to sit down together and talk about the positive of the relationship, how to fix that problem, and not put blame on that person, because that person might feel very, very tired of hearing you complain, very frustrated. You know, you could really get that person into a state of mind or mood that they're not comfortable with, and then you feel responsible. So always try to, you know, bring up that, like, oh, okay, how can we fix this together? How can we save money together where we could go and afford this vacation, or whatever the situation may be? Work together. What is your plan for us? Where do you see our future together? And this is more towards like the middle of a relationship. You don't really want to ask these questions towards the beginning. So just, you know, towards the middle, where do you see our future together? Do you see us getting married? Do you see us having kids? Do you see us buying a house together? Do you see us traveling more together? Do you see us getting a pet together? All these things. Try to see where it leads and show appreciation.
This approach not only sparks positive conversations, but it also helps you both feel more hopeful and connected.
And finally, number 5 is the power of joint ventures. Now, what does this mean? Never heard of it. The title kind of says it itself. The power of joint ventures, doing things together. Okay, I was trying to take skating lessons, and I saw a couple that did skating together, and their daughter turned out to be an Olympic gold medalist or something. So that was beautiful, because the dad was a skater, the mom is a skater, and now the daughter is a skater. So that's a family of skaters, and that's something that I always thought would be fun and cool to do as you know, in a relationship with your partner, even if they're not, it doesn't have to be skating. It could be cooking, it could be hiking, it could be running, it could be writing, it could be singing, it could be, you know, dancing, whatever it is. Try to do it together. And if he doesn't, if you go to your partner and ask, hey, what are you interested in? You know, that could kind of help too. Fishing. Do you want to go? You might not like it, or golfing. You might hate it. You're like, oh. So that's something that both of you need to compromise together and see where you both can meet. And if you're willing to give his hobby a chance, then hopefully he is willing to return the favor and give your hobby a chance as well. And it could potentially and hopefully bring you guys closer together. And this is called joint ventures, where you don't feel as lonely in your relationship because you're doing stuff with your partner that you both enjoy doing.
Joint ventures create a sense of partnership and shared purpose, making your bond stronger and your relationship more fulfilling.
If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe and like, and please join this channel. Welcome to the community. I talk about every topic that I feel is important to bring up, and most of my topics are things that people really don't discuss a lot because either they're not comfortable like this. You know, not everybody likes to admit that they feel lonely within a relationship. So I try to bring topics where people could benefit from and help from and get help from, and just to know that you're not alone. I cover everything from job topics, co-worker issues, relationship issues, pretty much anything life-changing that could potentially help you with your growth and personal development growth. And I am not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I am just a woman that has been through a lot, and I know what I'm talking about because I've been through it. So I hope that you guys stick around and become part of this community and this family. Thank you so much, like us, and I'll see you on my next video.